I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, we're going to be using the public beta release for Firmware 6 on the FM9, which adds gapless switching between channels, scenes, and presets, as well as loads of new amp and effect models in here to play around with. I've done a video over on my channel detailing a lot of the new additions, but I did mention in that video that the gapless switching, especially between presets, opens up a whole bunch of possibilities for using different presets across the same songs, or for using the songs and sets feature. And I want to hone in on that songs and sets feature by putting together two presets that we can use here. And we're going to think of one as the main preset that does the heavy lifting during a gig. For example, with my band Ragdoll, I could play a whole gig with this particular preset at the moment, built around the USA Mark IV lead mid-gain with my free custom cab IR. That one is linked in the video description. A little bit of multi-band compression just to tame some of those palm mutes in there, the new gold plate reverb type in here, and some stereo pitch detune at the end of the chain. What I'll do on here is I'll just run you through the main sounds that I'm using. One's going to be a chunky rhythm sound, then we've got a lead sound and some effect presets in here. You can see in there that I was using a rotary block at stock settings for the wobble scene. I've got a lovely quad parallel delay happening for my lead scene, and I'm using the vintage digital for my rhythmic delay in there. Now you can see that preset is running at around 63%. There's a few blocks that I do like to use for specific sections of specific songs, namely a ring modulator to do an octave down effect, a phaser for when I'm feeling like having a phaser on my rhythm scene, and then a flanger just to add an interesting bit of movement to some parts. Furthermore, having a shimmer reverb and then having a reverb that runs into a tremolo for an undulator style effect is something that I use only in specific parts of specific songs. So adding them to this preset doesn't make a lot of sense to me for a few reasons. One, it's going to clutter everything up. Two, I won't have the number of scenes that I need to get all of those sounds. And three, I will probably have to sacrifice what I'm doing with certain blocks to make it all fit into a single preset. So what I've done is I've copied this preset over to the next preset slot. I've removed everything that I don't need, namely my multi-tap delay and my delay block, as well as that rotary block. And I've just added the things that I do want, like a ring mod with the pitch tracking set to on, and the frequency multiplier set to 0.5 for that funky octave down effect. I've got a phaser set up on the Script 90 for the Van Halen style thing. I've got the electric mystery flanger. I've got a plex delay running into a tempo synced tremolo for my undulator style effect. And I've got a second reverb block set to the Ursa major type for my shimmer style reverb. So what I'll do is I'll run through this preset and I'll just let you hear these alternative sounds that I just need every now and then. So there's 5 extra sounds in there to go on top of the 5 main sounds that I'd be using. So it's kind of like having 10 scenes. the scenes in each preset are gapless. If I want to have gapless switching between presets, I want to go to the Setup tab. I want to set spillover and gapless to all, and I want to resave any presets that I'm going to be switching between onto this firmware. It can be simple as just selecting the new preset and hitting save, or you can use the batch setting tools to do that. What I can then do is I can organize all of these sounds between these presets into different songs and place those songs into set lists. So for example, this particular song that I've set up here, for the first two sounds in it, I'm going to be using scene 1 and scene 4 from my main preset. Then I'm going to pinch that octaver from the alt preset just for this particular part here. The solo and the chorus will be using scenes from the main preset. And then in the outro, I'm going to pinch the undulator scene from my other preset. For this Shine Live preset, I'm starting with the shimmer sound from my alt preset. I am going to be using the phaser and the flanger in sections, and then I've got my main chunk and lead sounds for the rest of the song. You get the idea in there, where basically I can pick and mix scenes from different presets in here. Having a main preset and 1, 2, 10 alt presets that use the same amp and cab sounds just makes it very easy to level out on there. What I've then set up in FC Edit, as you can see here, this is going to be my sets layout on here, where I can select the different sets with this button. I can cycle up and down through the different songs, and then I've got the 6 sections laid out here. So for example, on this particular song, I've got the intro part, which I've called main on here, is just my main chunky sound. Then I'm going to run through the 5 different parts in here. I actually don't use the 6th part. It's all just going to be using a single preset over here. So you can see if I select that one, it's going back to this LT1 preset. I'll just step through the part. From there, I could select the next song using this foot switch, the top right middle foot switch. That's just the way I've set it up. This is going to start me out on that shimmer sound from my alt preset, but then when I go to the second button, I'm back to my main chunky sound, something like this. I'm just stepping through the different song sections that I've allocated. I've got these foot switches set as part number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the mini labels here will change their name depending on the name that I've given in the song section over here. So having these main and alt presets means that you can have consistent leveling across your presets really, really easy. Using just one amp model and one cab model is something that I do recommend to a lot of people. Use it like an old school setup, where if you need a little bit more, you can kick in a boost in the amp block or a drive pedal. If you need a little bit less, maybe use your guitar volume control or switch over to a dedicated clean sound in there, but it gives us this growing library of sounds that we can dip into using these songs and sets on here, so that if you do just need a really weird flanger sound for one particular part of one song, you can just save that as a separate preset and reference that scene in that specific preset, and then go back to your main preset for the rest of the gig. I really like that approach, and having this addition of gapless switching really does open that up, and it makes sets and songs so much more powerful. Another good application of this that I could think of might be for intros and outros. Let's say you've got a really cool ambient preset with some great synth sounds or some great big reverbs. You could use that for your intro or for your outro or in between songs. You know, if you want to stop the bass player talking in between songs, just dial up some really nice big reverbs, or say the Blade Runner inspired factory preset, noodle around while the rest of the band gets ready, and then you can gaplessly kick into your main tone on there. So that's what's really changed the game for me with this particular update. There are a bunch of great new amp models and effect sounds that I'll be diving into over the next month or so. So let me know what you would like to see and hear on this Tuesday Tone Tip series on the FM9 going forward. And otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching. Everything that you need is linked in the video description, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.